We're going to be talking right now about forgiveness. You're looking right now at Tian Dayton, PhD. And Tian, you've written a book with a fascinating title, The Magic of Forgiveness, Emotional Freedom and Transformation at Midlife. I think, you say midlife, but at any age, probably somebody has something or someone to forgive, right?
Most people.
Right.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, how?
How?
Do we forgive?
We go through stages. You know, forgiveness doesn't happen all at once. It's a process, not an event. I think there are about 5 stages, and the middle 2, anger and resentment and sadness and hurt, seem to be where most people get blocked. But if we can work through those feelings with a positive goal of forgiveness, it can help us organize and focus ourselves towards getting over and past something rather than staying in the middle of it. You know, the body doesn't really know the difference between emotional pain and physical danger. We gear up with fight-flight hormones, whether or not we're upset because we had a breakup with our boyfriend, or we're faced with the proverbial saber-toothed tiger. And in modern life, we don't fight or flee. These stress chemicals just boil up inside of us and cause us a lot of physical damage.
If it goes on a long time, it can be physically damaging.
It can cause chronic damage. It can lower your immunity, give you heart problems. These adrenaline reactions don't belong in the body for a prolonged period of time. But when we cogitate on negative, painful emotions, they stay in the body for a long period of time.
I had a problem with a coach when I was a kid, and I still don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, am I crazy?
You're not crazy. You're normal. The idea is go back to it, revisit it, see how it might be getting played out in your life today. I mean, do you notice it anywhere in your life today, or is it?
No.
And you pretty much let it go.
But if I think about it, I still get angry.
Well, that you have a perfect right to. I mean, we don't get amnesia because we forgive.
Okay.
We still remember what happened. The intensity of the feelings surrounding it lighten up. That's the goal, not to eradicate it forever. And it's not condoning. By forgiveness, we're not saying we condone what a person did. We're just recognizing that our peace of mind, our health, is more valuable to us than the grudge.
Well, give us some concrete tips, some steps. What do we do?
We do? Well, I have it in about 5 stages. Wake up, recognize there's something inside of me that's giving me real pain. The second, anger and resentment. Look honestly at the anger and resentment you're carrying. Third, sadness and hurt. Now, some people feel sadness and hurt more easily, so those 2 stages interchange. Eventually, we want to integrate those feelings so that we can gain some wisdom and understanding from them instead of just circling in them. And then we reinvest that freed up energy with some choice.
Like, for example, we've
like
got
in
this.
Something positive.
Okay, and just get away from that and try not to think about it, that kind of thing?
Well, if we really process the feelings around it, we learn from it. We recognize, we're not getting away from it then. We are feeling the feelings we've put out of consciousness so that we can integrate them back into ourselves with some understanding and personal growth.
Okay, now if we have to forgive someone for something, that means they've done something.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you say we go through your steps, we forgive them. Does that mean our relationship with them is now a great one?
Not at all. We may never want to see that person again. The relationship may or may not change, but we forgive to free ourselves, not the other guy.
So just try to get past it, but don't think that the relationship has to continue or will continue.
Exactly. We're doing this for ourselves, for our own peace of mind and freedom. And speaking of the self, most people tell me that they have a harder time forgiving themselves than other people. So this is a very, very important part of forgiveness. If you are beating yourself up on the inside for something you did, recognize that forgiveness starts with the self oftentimes.
Well, I think that's as important for a lot of people, that we've all done things in our lives we're mad at ourselves for doing.
Yes.
So I'm not crazy because something happened when I was a teenager that I haven't forgotten.
You are not crazy. You will not forget it. I mean, the things, that saying, if you haven't forgotten, you haven't really forgiven, not my experience. People have something called a memory. They remember what happened.
And it's okay, just don't let it damage you.
Just don't let it damage you. Work through the feelings instead of letting them, I would say, work through you.
And forgive yourself if you have something to forgive yourself for, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
forgive yourself, most important.
The book is called The Magic of Forgiveness, written by Tian Dayton, PhD. We want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And forgive me for having to end the interview.
No problem.
All right. And we'll be right back.